Coping with Cancer was set up in 1982, and really it's there to offer holistic wraparound care for anybody who's been affected by a cancer diagnosis. We do a range of holistic care and therapy, and we deliver everything from person-centred counselling on a one-to-one basis, but we offer a lot of guidance and a lot of advocacy as well.
We also offer complementary therapies, so we offer services for people who experience cancer themselves, but also the friends and family around that may be affected. We will offer support if they're going through a diagnosis process, they haven't got an answer or definition of if they've got cancer or something. We work with them after and during, so we try and cover all bases.
So it's been a long-standing relationship, probably 8 to 10 years. We've always had Coping with Cancer here. It was a good quality service. They are very adaptable and are flexible. So whilst we have our own in-house psychology services, but sometimes people just need to offload, they just need to be truly listened to, and that's what Coping with Cancer offer.
I was first introduced to Coping with Cancer when I went through my own cancer journey, breast cancer, and I came here to get acupuncture to help with the sort of side effects, and it was excellent.
I was diagnosed with cancer during lockdown 1, and at first I was given support through the hospital, and I had 10 sessions with that, and I was told that was it, they couldn't offer me any more. I found Coping with Cancer, and I reached out to them, and after a telephone conversation I was given my first ever face-to-face session, and that has made a huge difference.
Timing is important. When people get referred to us, we try and be very quick with the assessment, and then they're allocated to someone. Having that connection, as soon as they come through, rather than someone sitting there going, did that referral go through? What's happening? Giving someone a phone call for 5 minutes can be really powerful.
It's separate from the clinical side, and they're talking to somebody who isn't a nurse, isn't a consultant, but truly understands where they're coming from because of their experience with listening to cancer patients. You build up that knowledge base, but they're not going to be judged, they're just going to be listened to.
Before arriving, I was in a very dark place. I was struggling to come to terms. I had beaten cancer at the first attempt, and then 6 months later it came back, and I was told there was no further treatment available, and it took me a long time to come to terms with that. And then I reached out to this place, and gradually I started to come to terms with the cancer returning, and then I started to turn the negatives into positives. I made up a bucket list, and I was determined nothing was going to stop us from ticking off all these ticks, and I've literally changed my life around, and it was thanks to this place. And just making the most of today and worrying about tomorrow another day. That's the way I see it now.
I then continued with Coping with Cancer because my husband was diagnosed with cancer, and it was the best thing they could have done, and it was a turning corner for him coping. I then was asked would I come and support him in a group lunch. I came along and was blown away basically by the journeys that everybody had been on, the sharing. You could see the relief to suddenly realise they were in a safe place where they could say anything they wanted. For me, because I'm obviously now chairing this group as well, it's watching a new person come in, and then slowly as the session goes on, you can see the stress lifting, and it's just incredible to watch.
One of the things that is bad for mental health is being disconnected. So any way you can connect with other people, that's important.
And we can often see the impact on family, friends, loved ones. That can be even more than the person diagnosed with cancer sometimes. The loved one is offering that support and soaking up all of those emotions, but sometimes not getting the support that they need, which is great, which is where Coping with Cancer comes in.
You often forget about the the relatives and they don't have anybody. So it's quite nice to bring them into this.
When I took over Coping with Cancer, we were mainly a volunteer-led organisation with a little smattering of charity income, if you like, from the various NHS charities. What was vital and what was so exciting for the Association of Mental Health Providers to get involved with us was to help us investigate how we could take our income into a more enterprising state.
So we actually fund Coping with Cancer and have done so for the last 10 years or so, and that comes through the Newcastle Hospital Charities Fund.
By being able to pay our staff and retain them, that means we retain and we can build our capacity to develop further services. The funding we got through the Association of Mental Health Providers was to pay for my time so that I could focus on developing what I'm going to call the business to government sort of income.
The favourite thing about Coping with Cancer is definitely the people.
So that's one of the nicest things I think about working here is, the people.
I think they're an inspiration. I mean, I listen to them and absolutely inspirational. It doesn't matter how strong you are, there are still going to be times where you just need to be able to vent. I mean, one lady that does come, she says, I just come here to have a right good moan, get it all off my chest, then my family don't have to hear it. And we say, well, that's fine, that we can take it and bring it on. That's the good bit. And it is special, that.
My favourite thing is the friendliness of everybody. With this place, it was like, you've got a problem, come straight up and we can sort it out, and that's what they've been doing to support us. Again, just a huge thank you to this charity.
Everything. Wow. If I could go back to my life 10 years ago, before I had cancer for the second time, and say to me, you'll be leading a cancer charity and making a difference, I would never have believed you. So to actually have the opportunity to do what I do, for me, for my family, for my loved ones, and for everybody who comes into this environment, that's just a blessing, a total blessing. And I feel really privileged to be here.
I wouldn't be in the position I am now if it wasn't for these. And like I say, I'm ticking off this bucket list like there's no tomorrow.